Join Vince and I, and even Dooms Vince, every Wednesday night at 7 Central Time on the Supervillain Network for a brand new episode of the Geekvolution Radio Hour. A full hour of intellectually stimulating discussion, or the next best thing. There has been, Vince, a TV show for Marvel that I have been calling for on this show, on the channel, on Geekvolution, several times. I got several messages on Facebook the other day from some of our viewers that said, Captain Logan, congratulations, you might be getting your wish. Damage Control.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. I keep thinking, if you want to do a smaller budget, or like not a giant budget, minimalist, fun show set in a superhero universe where you're not going to have the budget to have a lot of superheroes or superpowers, you're not going to bring in a lot of the mainstays in the Marvel universe, you want it to still feel like it's in that world but separated, like Daredevil's been, that kind of thing. Oh, Damage Control. Yeah. Like, that's what you need. Vince, they're developing it. It's going to happen probably.
Well, where's it going to show?
Oh, on ABC, naturally.
Oh, sweet.
Because that's where the Marvel things are. I mean, it's Disney, ABC.
Oh, it could be
that's
Netflix.
where... Oh, okay, fair enough. Sorry. But it's going to be... Sorry, I didn't tell you the format. It's going to be a comedy, and it's going to be... Which it means that Damage Control was a comedy,
yeah.
And it's basically going to be a sitcom. Now, here's what's really... Sorry, I didn't mean to be belittly or whatever when I sorry, Vince. I just... yes,
I've
of course,
always
ABC.
called it ABCA.
But no, it could... It could have been Netflix, but it's going to be a weekly comedy, and probably I would imagine a little bit less of an archy thing and more of a one episode a week thing.
Yeah,
but
that's awesome.
Anyway, what's really interesting is, you remember we were talking about the show that I think it's this one. I don't remember for sure. I think it's NBC because DC has them everywhere. I think it was NBC, but you remember we were talking about the comedy that they were developing for as a DC property called Powerless. You remember we talked about that? This is really similar to that. When we talked about that, I said I really wish Marvel would do Damage Control. Now we might be getting and of course that will probably be in a universe of its own with Powerless. But
yeah.
But now we're gonna get Marvel Cinematic Comedy about what the kind of the behind the scenes lives of the people that have to deal with the superheroes in a world of superheroes in both Powerless and Damage Control. We're gonna get one for Marvel, one for DC.
I don't want it to be like a big deal where they're having like this whole big program to go clean up the city, but I would love to see just occasionally people in the background with squeegees taking webbing off of windows.
Yeah,
that'd be hilarious.
I just feel like you could have so many cool references.
You know what they could do? They could just use sets from other shows that they no longer need and just tear them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
And I think that you could much more effectively do cool tie-ins to the movies than we have with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, because then it's all tongue-in-cheek.
Well, and then it's always like, okay, we had this big giant battle, now we got to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I bet it's going to be a lot less of here are, maybe they'll do that, but I figure it'll be less of here are like the grunt workers going out and cleaning up stuff, and more like the people with the desk jobs with the paperwork, like Powerless is going to be with insurance.
I kind of hope it's both.
Yeah, me too.
Because I mean, it's kind of like Hamlet. That's a weird thing to compare, but it's kind of like Hamlet in the
that is weird.
In the idea where you have the grave diggers that are they're supposed to be comic
relief.
Dig
my grave.
I got it!
Oh,
but
it's an old Dave Matthews song.
You know what? I've never really listened to Dave Matthews.
Oh, okay, well, anyway.
He talks to me all the time. I just don't pay attention. It's like, hey, Vince! Hey, Dave! How are you? I'm fine!
Yeah, Vince actually has this with every famous Dave. Dave Chappelle does this.
Yeah, the restaurant?
Dave from the restaurant.
Famous Dave's.
Oh, I don't know. When you said that, I was like, are you gonna make the same joke? I was gonna say the ghost of the guy from Wendy's.
Hey, Dave, where's my sandwich? That's a ghost sandwich, Dave. Get it right.
Too soon?
Maybe.
Sorry.
Oh, I'll hang out with his granddaughter, whoever that is. Wendy.
Anyway, if Marvel is...
That's not true. I'm married.
I think it's so cool, and I keep saying this, that Marvel Studios continues to work like an actual studio and not just making a series of movies. I love that distinction, right? It's all set in the same universe, but Universal makes many kinds of movies. And I mean, granted, they're part of Disney. They're under that wing, but this would have continued to be the case even if they weren't, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like they are a studio, and so they've made now. You could make the argument, well, their movies have been really comedic. The Ant-Man was basically a comedy. You know what I mean? Like they make comedies already. But to have a comedy TV show that's more of a sitcom in that universe, and it can be that, I don't know, man. I think that's so cool. I mean, they can do every kind of genre, and it just shows you the versatility of superhero.
Which, I mean, if you think about it and you look at just publishing in general, I mean, sure, there's some that specify very, very closely to a certain genre.
Yes.
But, I mean, a lot of publishing houses, they don't have to be one genre.
Well, not when you're talking the
thing.
big houses, and of course, Marvel Studios sort of counts, especially since they're raking in so much of Hollywood's revenue right now. But no, you're talking about, as opposed to a small press house that just publishes, like young adult, dark fantasy, or whatever. I mean, sometimes it gets absurd, right? We just start compounding all the subgenres on top of each other.
And then you walk into a Barnes & Noble, if you can find one, and then it says... vampire romance.
Yeah, and you're like, that's a genre?
I just thought that was a piece of crap that people read.
There's so much of it. But what I was going to say is that versus like Random House.
Yeah.
You know, or Scholastic. You know, they're going to publish every kind of thing. Fiction and nonfiction.
You mean I can get Huckleberry Finn and Calvin and Hobbes from the same publisher?
What?
That blows my mind.
Anyway, I don't know if you wanted to weigh in any more on that, but... that's the thing I think is really exciting, and also I just get excited when I call stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because you know, I called Clock King on Arrow, and I called this, and I'm excited about it.
I mean, it's a thing that needs to happen.
I'm not just patting myself on the back. These are things I wanted, so I'm excited about them.
I mean, from the varying reviews, I haven't really watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I hear reviews where things are like they're spinning their wheels. It really doesn't matter.
Well, you're hearing those reviews from me. Although the first episode this season was exciting, and I think it's got real potential to finally be the show it should have been in the first place, but we'll see. Who knows? When
I hear stuff like that, I kind of go, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
But then you have this, where they don't have to spin their wheels. It doesn't have to be universe-shattering. I mean, you can have stuff that happens in a person's life without having to save the universe at the same time.
Yeah, the stakes don't have to always be ginormous, and a thing like this, the driving force is different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it'll be about the comedy. The jokes just need to be witty and can come enough times a minute. And
I wouldn't mind seeing some bodies of the Chitauri, you know, just on the ground.
Well, it depends on when they said it. I mean, because that would be very counter and contradictory to the way we've done new things in Marvel before.
That's a good point.
That would suggest that we would start all the way back to Avengers. They're not going to do that. It'll be set. It'll be set wherever we are now in the Marvel universe, probably. Now, Daredevil is sort of that way, but it's a microcosm thing that you've got 13 episodes that happen in a very short period of time. So like when it starts, it's probably after the last movie or the last or one before. But then obviously more things happen after that. But you're watching like a long movie. It's kind of different, but if you have a weekly show, they're gonna set it wherever we are right now. Almost certainly.
Would you like Damage Control to have been around for a while, since somebody needs to have cleaned up the city?
No, because the biggest thing that's happened was the Avengers, and we know they weren't around there because we saw crews cleaning up stuff, and they probably weren't there. It would make a lot more sense, I think, if it was... This is a thing where I think in Origin would make sense, and I also think they're probably going to start there, don't you think?
Yeah, I would think so.
I honestly, and I know that I've been down on Origin before, and lately I've been less down on it, because I've seen it done better lately. I feel like the way you open that show is somebody just... And this could be funny by itself. Somebody gets a bright idea. You know what? There should be one group that just does that.
It's very expensive to hire all these independent contractors to clean up the city.
Yeah. Also, I'll make a prediction right now. They will play it as an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. spinoff.
You're probably right. I don't like that idea, but you're probably right.
No, I think it's a fine idea because it could be S.H.I.E.L.D.'s idea. It could be like, we really need a branch that does something like this, and all you have to do is have Coulson, hand it off to somebody and start it. I think
Agents of Trash Can.
But I think it would actually be kind of cool if you did sort of the, Star Trek spin-off thing, where, every Star Trek series, in a minor way, spins off from the last one by using a character or a place or something from the previous show. I think it would be pretty classy if they did that with this, especially it being a comedy and being a different thing. If you just took, one or two characters from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or some other Marvel thing, and you had them kind of pass the baton. That's what I would do with it.